Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're gonna break down the new Bataleon Salsa Lace Boot. That's right, Bataleon is doing snowboard boots, and well, to be honest, these are really well built. This was not an afterthought. They actually hired a really good designer who did a lot of design tweaks with this to make a very solid boot. Now this is not a boot review, it is a breakdown. We're just gonna go over some of the tech features. The best boot out there is the one that fits your foot and fits your needs. We're just trying to go over what you can expect if you have to shop online, which I do not recommend. Go to your local snowboard shop, try on as many pairs of boots as you can, make sure you're properly sized. Get into the boot that fits your foot and fits your needs. For those of you that don't have that option, as we are your online local snowboard shop with the advice that we give, we're gonna drop right in to the Salsa Lace and go through all the features on it. So for frame of reference, the Salsa Lace that we have here is a size 8. We're gonna go over just the cuff height, the liner height, what kind of materials you can expect, the sole, what's going on inside the liner. We're gonna just break it all down for you because I do think that these are actually really solid boots for a first year offering. I think they definitely dumped some serious money into the R&D of these. If you are shopping online, which I strongly do not recommend for boots, we did put affiliate links down in the description below. That way you don't have to go hunting for it and you can shop from a reputable shop. One that will probably let you send them back if you buy the wrong size. Make sure you are sized appropriately. You know who you are. Cool thing about this boot is it has a TPU toe box and a TPU back spine. That is gonna allow it to hold its shape better and give you some response and rigidity out of that back spine. With the TPU toe box, if you rest your heel edge on your boot, usually it cuts it up, it does stuff. This is gonna be more durable, it's gonna be more rigid. You can just feel that this has no excess give to it. This is gonna be a lot harder, a lot more firm, and it's not going to break down as easily. It actually provides scuff points around the outside as well as key points where your ratchets are going to just dig in there. You also have an articulated cuff so that way when you flex into it, there will be some give. Now, this is probably the softest boot that Bataleon's making this year, with the Acid being the stiffest, then the Salsa Boa. Laces just tend to be a little bit softer, but it's still got some rigidity to it. Like this boot's surprisingly stiffer than you would think. I know it's not the most scientific method of me just hand flexing that in there for you. I just wanted to show you that there is some articulation to it and whatnot. You also have a TPU back spine, and this is gonna provide that rigidity in there as well. This helps just give you that rebound, and it doesn't crease. You will notice that you get a little bit of a flex point where the articulation is in the cuff right there. So expect that to just flex and break in. Obviously at 200 pounds, if I was in this boot, I'm gonna flex it different than TC, who's 160. Be aware of that. You're a heavier guy, the boot is always going to flex a little bit more than if you're a lighter weight guy in a stiffer boot. It's all height to weight proportionate, as well as how athletic you truthfully are, and then it's your personal preference as well. You do have a rubber outsole, so that's gonna give you a little bit of dampening underfoot. You can see in the green right here, that foam will also help with impacts, and then there's a little bit under the toe, so it's basically the 3 points of contact that your foot will have the most. Inside of it, it works really well, in my opinion. When you see boots like that they do dampen, that does help with any of that chatter and micro vibration that you might feel. With the lace locks, these are deep and they're gonna work great with a rounded lace. If you put a flat lace in there, it's not, but these are exceptionally tight. These are super well built, and you can really leverage into it and pull it nice and tight, and it will stay in there. One of the cool features on the Salsa Lace is you actually have a power strap on the top, so you can really crank that right over just to help keep that top tight. And you're gonna notice when you flex into this boot with that, it gives you a little more added response. The BOA one does not have this, so there is that being a big difference between the two. With the internal harness in here, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's actually sewn really high up into the shell. This is just going to really lock you down into that heel pocket. You do have the little quick tab release in there as well, and then it's just your normal standard slide and lock system. It's got the little pin that you push down to get it to lock. Nothing revolutionary here. Hey, enjoying this video so far? Cool. Need you to do something for me. Give it a thumbs up. While you're down there, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the programming we've got coming out for you. Because we've gone from content to programming. That's right. We're a legit channel these days. Getting into the liner, there's things that we need to talk about. Mainly, you have this butterfly wrap with a ton of hard, aggressive foam. This helps create heel hold. And this has a really deep heel pocket, even with that orange foam in there to give your ankle bones a little excess room. This thing is gonna lock down any Achilles and just keep you firmly planted in the boot. This liner is very well designed for that. So for those of you with heel hold issues, not gonna be a problem. You do have a neoprene on the toe. This will give you a little excess room, so maybe you got like that longer index toe or something. That'll help push it out. It is a fully heat moldable liner, so if you need to get that done, you can. One thing I would worry about is right on the flex point, you have these huge seams right there. You may feel that inside the liner, some of you will. There's also a big seam down the back. I don't think most people are gonna feel this, just judging by when I ran my hand down the inside. Underneath, very solid. Normal bottom on it, nothing special. You do have big seams, just be aware of that. But this is a very well designed liner. You have Velcro on the liner so that it just clips in there. Going into the footbed, this is cheap. Like, this is what's supposed to give you foot support. There's nothing to it. Throw this away. Just get rid of it. You don't need it. Get an aftermarket insole. You will be so much happier, or a custom. Just do that and you will optimize how your boot fits. When it comes to the shell height, the heel is about 10 3/4 in the back right there with the cutout. And then the tongue is about 9 3/4 with the sides being a little bit higher in there. I know, not the most scientific way to measure it. Just wanted you guys to know this is also a size 8. So if we measure the height of the liner here, comes in at around 11.5 at its highest point, and on the sides it's about 9 3/4, give or take on there. It's closer to 10 in the front, so it is a little bit of a higher liner. All right, so if we put this down and line this up with number 1 on that seam, it goes from 1 to 5, so that's 4 inches at the instep. That's fairly wide. I actually wish I had my calipers when they were working, but they're not. The liner, normal width, it's fully moldable. You're gonna be able to heat mold this to get a better fit. Like what we're doing over here? Wanna support us further? Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. These have a really deep heel pocket as well, so if you have narrow ankles, you're always worrying about heel lift, this might be an option for you, because as I say, the best boot is the one that fits your foot and fits your needs. Overall, with the shape of this boot, it's kind of a medium width, so just your average foot width. It's not narrow, it's not just super wide. You'll notice that in the forefoot. Comparing it to other boots, it kind of looks like a Ride, a K2 in there in terms of just its width, so it's not super bulky in there, so you guys with the wider feet may not like this. All right, did you learn about the Bataleon Salsa Lace Boot? Awesome, glad we could do that for you. Hopefully you're going to your local shop to try on some boots and see what works for you, because the best boot is the one that fits your foot and fits your needs. If you don't think this is the boot for you, why don't you go watch one of our other boot breakdowns, because let's be real, we're trying to get through as many of those as possible for you guys so that you have a more optimized experience on the mountain.